Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, I'm sure, week 5 of the college football season is here, and we have a pretty solid Friday night matchup. Most of the time the Thursday, Friday night games aren't great. They save the main um, high coveted games for Saturdays, but we are getting a number 15 Washington at UCLA on Friday night. It's a late one. It's at 10:30 Eastern, but it's definitely worth staying up for. If we jump into the against the spread stats, we'll go back all the way to 2017. I just kind of figure 5 years, 5 seasons is kind of a good measuring stick for both of these teams. I know both these teams have gone through coaching changes and such, but we're going to take a look at the last 5 seasons. Since 2017, both of these teams have been below 500 against the spread, so they're not covering the spread more than they are. And then each team after a win is also below 500. Both of these teams are 4-0, so they're coming off wins and they're also below 500 against the spread. As a road team and as a home team, Washington and UCLA respectively are below 500. So there's nothing that really stands out to me for the against the spread. I mean, both teams in the past have struggled to cover, and I mean, one of the teams has to cover in this game. It's not, I mean, unless they push, but I, I'm assuming one of these teams will cover. So I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but this Washington team does appear to be better than previous year's Washington's team. I mean, UCLA isn't a slouch by any means, but they haven't exactly played, a high level of competition. I believe they've played Bowling Green, Alabama State, Southern Alabama, and Colorado. I mean, none of those teams are all that great. I think Colorado is one of the worst Power 5 schools in the nation this year. Washington's schedule is a little bit more respectable. They played Kent State, who just played Georgia a little tough. I don't think Kent State's all that great. I think Georgia just kind of underestimated them. They played a Portland State team that's not very good. A Michigan State team that going in was supposed to be pretty good, but as we kind of seen, their secondary isn't very good, and as a team, they're struggling a bit right now. And then a Stanford team, which always going to play tough, scrappy football. So I mean, UCLA, like I said, hasn't played anyone, but Washington hasn't gone on the road yet. All 4 of their first games were at home, so Washington's got a little added test in going on the road. However, UCLA hasn't really had the greatest turnout for their home games. I think there's been, well, I don't know, I want to say record lows because I don't know for sure, but I've seen some of their games, and the crowd doesn't exactly look like the stands aren't exactly filled, if you know what I mean. I think I saw some pictures, and they play at the stadium where the Rose Bowl is held, and it looks pretty empty. But getting into my pick for this game, like I said, with the against the spread stats, both teams struggle to cover at times. I do think Washington is the better team here, but they are going on the road, so it should be interesting. I think the spread for this game, it's currently set at 3, but I think that's only because Washington's on the road here. I like Washington to win the game, to be completely honest with you, and 71% of the public is on Washington -3. So the spread may lean more towards 3.5, 4 to try and get more of the public to bet on the UCLA side to kind of even out the money. But my pick for this game is going to be Washington -3. If you're hesitant, you may want to go Washington money line, but I don't think 3 is some like crazy large spread that if Washington wins they won't cover. I think if Washington does win this game, they cover the 3, and they just appear to be the better team. I think they've got a tougher schedule to this point. But if UCLA is going to have success, they're going to need to slow Michael Penix Jr. down, as well as the Washington receiving core. But I just don't really see that happening. I mean, Penix is firing on all cylinders. He's back with his old OC that was at Indiana. He's the head coach of Washington now. He just looks really good. So I mean, don't get me wrong, he could come out and lay an egg. I mean, if you look at some of my other videos, I haven't exactly been spot on with those, but I've just got a feeling for this one that Washington's going to go into UCLA and get a W. So my pick for this game is going to be Washington -3.